Good Tuesday morning. It is the 3rd of June, 2025. Loudoun County with our outlook, and we start off with this high pressure system in control that kept our temperatures cool again. Overnight lows again got down to the 40s for a lot of folks, but that's the last 40s for a bit. As we go forward here, this high is going to move east, pumping up southerly winds, and southerly winds will mean much hotter temperatures. Today we get up to the 80s. Low 80s, but tomorrow into the upper 80s, as well as Thursday and Friday. Front's going to come through with some precipitation this weekend and disturbance. And again, our temperatures will get knocked back down in this continual kind of warm up for a few days, cool off for a few days type of pattern that we have been in. It seems to want to persist longer than the models were showing that. So, yeah, let's move forward here. So we see now that the high has moved off to the east coast, and then it's pumping in the southerly winds. That's warming us up pretty dramatically. This is strong southwesterly winds. So the disturbance out here is a little bit interesting. It gave a little bit of a percent of something to watch as a potential east coast low pressure, potentially becoming tropical at some point, but it's not going to happen. This area of disturbance is going to move up into our region towards Thursday night and Friday. How much rain it brings into the region or chances of rain, there's a good question. This doesn't look nearly as organized as it did at one point. So Friday is pretty much dry, and it's not until Friday night and overnight and into Saturday we're getting rain. And wow, does this look like a repeat of the models as we're going for many, many months, where the low pressure or the precipitation looked like it was going to come in and be really wet at one point in the models, and it's really backed off. So not much rain on Saturday. Sunday may only have a few showers around, nothing too dramatic. As we say, pretty dry based on this forecast model. But due to the unsettledness, maybe some moisture will stick around. We'll have some showers even into Monday. But this low and this northwesterly flow is going to keep us cooler than it looked like at one point, as we looked like we're going to stay pretty hot there for a bit. Again, this is going to move off now on the east coast, the high pressure, and we get the return flow, so the temperatures warm back up in the long range, and we'll just have to see how things pan out. Now, this looks pretty moist, humid, and pretty warm, and then a chance of it cooling off again because there's another high coming down from the north. So what a repeating pattern we have. So let's look at those model temperatures, and here's the Gulf of Mexico, by the way, tropical system that GFS keeps on advertising. So here we are. Much below normal, as we all felt this morning. Moving near normal this afternoon with the low 80s. Still a little below normal tonight. And then much warmer tomorrow, where we jump up almost 5-10 degrees above normal. That has been in upper 80s for this time of year. Nighttime, still not too far off. But look at this on Thursday. There's cold air damming showing up here on the models. What? So that must be really interesting here on the models, because that's much cooler than it looked like initially. It has to do with the low pressure system coming in here and knocking those temperatures back. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, let's still look pretty close to normal, but then a return to the northwest flow is going to cool us off again into next week. Originally it looked like it was going to be really warm next week. Now it looks like it's going to be pretty close to normal or slightly below normal until late next week. This is when I said we get the return flow again warm, but then not too far after, again, the northwest flow cooling us back down. And this looked pretty dramatic there for a few days before it got back up to normal temperatures. So I'd say overall it's kind of fair to me. It's going to say that the model's going to have to shift and the forecast outlooks to more of a normal to even slightly below normal look in the way that things look. Only a few of those days was really about normal. As far as precipitation outlook, obviously it's going to be down now from what it had looked like for several days. To me, I thought we were going to get, quite a bit more precipitation from what we're seeing. The Weather Prediction Center is still showing a pretty good amount, actually. I'm not sure how they're coming up with that, but this is over a one-week period, and they're actually showing over an inch. I hope this is true. I didn't like the way the models looked, so I wouldn't be surprised if the GFS is any indicator as to where we're headed. Then I would say it's less. Here's what the GFS says through 7 days. Yeah, way less precipitation on the GFS model. Just to compare, let's look at the European model through the 7 days. It's a little better, but still not as wet. I suspect that the the weather prediction center is going to have to lower their outlook. That still wasn't through 6 days. I had 7 days. Sorry, let me fix that. That does show more here on the European, so maybe that's why they're coming up with the higher precipitation amounts. We're really going to have to watch this and see what happens overall. So in general, warmer today, but not bad. It's still a beautiful day. We will see a lot of haze from the Canadian smoke. Not as cold tonight. Tomorrow, much warmer. Highs in the mid to upper 80s with humidity returning. Same thing for Thursday. Some showers and storms are possible on Friday. Doesn't look like a widespread event until maybe Saturday. A better chance of showers and thunderstorms. But again, that doesn't look like a washout on these models, so we'll have to see how things come together. And then on Sunday, maybe still some showers and thunderstorms sticking around. Still, I think that's when we're going to cool off, then back into the 70s, which should make it a nice forecast for both Sunday and Monday as far as temperatures go. And we'll have to watch next week. I think the weather's a little unsettled as far as what exactly is going to happen with the models struggling with it. Anyway, it's a long outlook. I hope you have a good Tuesday.